Osio negot, Galiele negoti jedo kohig, Wade Blevins, Dawadon, Jalagiga Tino Unole, Dawadon. I'm very glad that you're here. My name is Wade Blevins. In Cherokee, my name is Unole. And welcome to Cherokee 3 here at RSU TV. So, we've been going through some different things. We've been working on our syllabary reading because I believe that even for fluent speakers, literacy and being able to read fluently or fluidly or easily is something that we all struggle with. I know those of you that have tuned in before, you've heard Miss Peggy talk about, who's not with us today, but you've heard Miss Peggy talk about her mother and how her mother can read the Bible, you know, just as easily. She doesn't stumble over the words. She doesn't have to sound them out. She, you know, can read it just like you or I would read in English. And that's one of Miss Peggy's goals, is to be able to read the Bible like her mother does. And the only way to do that is to just go over it and over it and over it and over it again. And I know it works because even for myself, doing these classes, it helps me, and I notice I can read a lot easier now than I could even a couple of years ago. So it does help. Just keep doing it, and we'll get through it together, right? So come, idalena talaki de wone, kohig sohnele ne talaki de lo kwaste. Today is the 9th Cherokee lesson, right? Okay, so today we're going to do something a little bit different, but not different. It's different for Cherokee 3 because we've been working on the driver's ed manual, but today I have posted something different. So probably by now most of you know that I'm kind of really into music and how music helps us learn. And even as a historical note, I'm very into music. And our Cherokee music, both our traditional music and then after we were converted to Christianity, our Christian music. And one of the things that I'm really, really passionate about is this book. You can see a picture of one of the pages here. And this comes from the Cherokee Singing Book, which was written in 1846 by Lowell Mason, who is a very, very famous musicologist or hymn writer. He's written, you know, a lot of things. And so this song here, and one of the reasons why I love this book is because I grew up in a church where we sang in both English and Cherokee, you know, and I grew up singing Cherokee songs. I heard a lot of Cherokee songs growing up in my life. And one of the things I love about this book is that a lot of the songs in it are now unknown. They're no longer being sung at churches. People don't really do them a whole lot. And the reason why I kind of stumbled upon this is I started, now that universities make some of these old manuscripts and stuff, of course they're so old that they're now in the public domain, and they make them digitally available, so you don't actually have to have one of these 1846 copies for yourself. You can go online and you can find a digital copy and you can look at it, which I think is really, really cool. And so in looking through some of these songs, you know, I was looking at the names of them, I was looking at the words in them, and I was like, I've never heard these before. And so I decided that I wanted to hear what these songs would sound like. And so I did some research, and I found a program where you can do musical notation, and once you write out the musical notation, it will kind of play it for you. And so that you can kind of learn the song. And so I I could read music a little bit, but I didn't really know that much about musical notation or how to use it, and so I taught myself how to do it, and so I have done a few songs like this, and then after I learned them, I would sing them for people that I knew who were singers, Cherokee singers, and I would say, hey, have you ever heard this song? And a lot of the songs, none of them had ever heard. So I got to thinking about it, and it's kind of like if you're a person that grew up in church, or you go to church, you have a hymnal. And that hymnal, you usually sing maybe 20 different songs out of the hymnal, and I don't know any church that is ever saying every single song that's written in the hymnal. And so this is what this is kind of like. A lot of these songs just never caught on, or they never became popular, or they were popular at one time and they've just died out. So it's kind of one of my side projects that I want to bring back some of these songs. So this is one of them that is still sung in English. In some churches, I think, especially like Methodist churches and things like that, this song is a little better known. It's in English, it's called "Come Ye Disconsolate," and you can see up here, if you look at the old picture, there's some really, really interesting things in here. Of course, it says that it's a solo first, and then it has the words in English. It says, "Come ye disconsolate," and 11, 10, and I'm not entirely sure what that means, but I think it has something to do with the meter. And then it says, "Ugalisti," ugalisti, okay? And then it has Webb, W-E-B-B-E, and a period. And so I started doing some research in this song. And this song, "Come Ye Disconsolate," was, the words were given by Thomas Moore. He was an Irish poet, and he was extremely well known. He wrote this in 1816. And then the tune was added by a man by the name of Samuel Weber. So you can see here that's what the W-E-B-B-E is for Weber, because he wrote the tune. Then the words were done in English. The words were done by Mr. Thomas Moore. Then Lowell Mason, who wrote the Cherokee Singing Book, and Thomas Hastings in 1831, they changed the words a little bit. They added another stanza to it. And the interesting thing about this is then it comes to us as Cherokee people through the work of Samuel Worcester, who was a missionary. He was a white man, and he translated with the help of a Christian convert by the name of Stephen Foreman. Of course, the Foreman family is still a very prominent Cherokee family today. My grandpa was really good friends with one of the deacons of the Cherokee Methodist Church in Jay, which is no longer there, and he was a foreman. And so anyway, and so I think that that's really interesting. So as I was kind of doing research into this song and stuff, I started looking at the way it was originally written in Lowell Mason's hymnals, not the Cherokee ones, but the English ones. And there's a really interesting thing. I have only seen it arranged in this way in the Cherokee Singing Book. If you'll see, it starts out as a solo and one person sings, and then down here it says trio or semi-chorus. And what they do is they sing the kind of last stanza again, but they do it in three-part harmony. You can see there's, the lead and the alto and the bass line. And growing up we at Cherokee Singers are well known for being able to harmonize, and we still do it today. It's still a big part. I think our Cherokee people, it just made sense to them, and I think it has to do with the way our language is structured. But singing in harmony made sense to Cherokee people, and we still carry that tradition forward. So we're going to go through the words, and we're going to sing just the first verse, and then maybe next time we'll do the second verse. So this says, Uyo I chatanti naiku ejena. Okay. I chata yahi eji luchi. Okay. So, Ichaku, this is Ichaku ye, Ichaku yahi. Ichakuya, okay? Echiluchi. Na ski uwasahiyu. Gejina wodi. Gejina wodi. Nigata uyo. Ichatan na dai. Ichatan dai. Okay? So, uyo means something bad. Originally, I was told that this word meant that something was spoiled, like meat, like when meat had gone off. And then it went on to mean anything that was bad. Uyo, okay? Uyo I chatanti, okay? All of you, all of you who feel bad, naku etena, now go, okay, etena, go now. Okay, he paid for you. Echiluchi, come to him, okay? Na ski uwasahiyu gejina wodi, that you may come to him alone and be healed. That you may come to him and be healed, and that you may come to him all by yourself, alone, and be healed. Nikawata, all uyo ichatan te, all you who feel bad. Okay, so if you want to hear how the song goes, I will try and sing it for you. I'm not by any means a good singer, and I have allergies. And this song, the tune is a little unfamiliar to me, so I may jack it up. But hey, why not? But my hope is that I will learn it well enough, and that hopefully some of you will enjoy this song enough that you'll learn to sing it as well. So I'm not going to sing the trio part because it's just a repeat of the last two lines. So I'm just going to sing the first part of it, okay? And so the way it goes, as near as I can sing it, it says, Uyo ichatanti nagu ejena ichaguyahi hejiluchi Naski uwasahu Kejina wodi Nigada uyo Ijadantai. So that's the song. That's the tune of it. For those of you that can read music, you can play it on the, on the piano or on the guitar or whatever, and sing it as well, and you can learn the parts. I know when I was talking to my mom about this song, and I sang it for her, and she laughed. She's like, "I've never heard that tune before." She's like, "But it sounds very hymny," and so I'm not sure that that's a standard word, but I knew what she meant. It's a pretty song, not a song I've ever heard before. If you have, then that's really, really cool. And so you'll have a leg up, and you'll be able to now sing it in Cherokee now. So, and the words in Cherokee kind of have a really deep meaning, It's kind of intended to give comfort to those who are sad, right? It says, go now if you're feeling bad, meaning go to God, and because He's paid it for you, and so you can go to Him to feel better. So to Him alone, you can go to Him that you may be healed, and all of you who are feeling bad. So this might be a good song to do for funerals, for comfort, or those kinds of things. So it's really a neat song, and hopefully you will learn to sing it. So I will sing it one more time for you. I don't want to bust your ears, and I don't want to make you miserable. So if you don't like my singing, you can go ahead and mute it, and that's perfectly fine. So, all right. So come, Didi Noge. Uyo ichadanti nagu ejena ijaguyahi ejiluji naskiyu wasayu Kechina wodi nigada uyo ichadantai. And then, if you have a trio, then you would sing that starting at the naski uwasa, you would sing that part. Again, all the way back through, and then you would harmonize on that part. So it's a pretty song, and hopefully one that we can bring back. So partly here in Cherokee 3, every now and then I will bring another song from. Sometimes it may be a very, very common song that we still sing a lot, that you still hear a lot. Or it may be a song like this that is pretty obscure and nobody ever sings it anymore, because variety is the spice of life, right? And so those that, somebody will like the song and some won't. And it's really good that we have young people now today who are composing brand new songs, secular songs, or non-religious songs in the Cherokee language. We have some young people today that are doing that, and that's very, very important. In order for our language to grow and to be a living language, it has to be used to create new things. But by the same token, there are people like me who love things from the past and things that are kind of obscure, and and so I like to bring those forward and bring them up to today as well. So hopefully together we can all recreate a strong language environment, and our language will be very living and vibrant and be able to live into the future. So anyway, so that's one of Lowell Mason's, well, it wasn't his song, it was actually done by Thomas Moore, then by Samuel Weber, then by Lowell Mason, who Samuel Wooster and Stephen Foreman then put into Cherokee. So it kind of made its way around the world a little bit to come to our Cherokee people, but it's one of our hymns. Okay. So, we have been working through an informational paragraph on possums, right? And it's hopefully teaching you that habitual general characteristic tense, right? When you hear those verbs that end in on, we know that we're talking about something that's happened over and over again, right? So let's, again, do our best and let's try and read our way through it, and then we'll continue on. So, this says, U jetsti kaya sole atalena niska gani datai igana hida Jokatu joskohi galgogi isitadisti. Okay, so this word right here, kaya sole. Does anybody remember what the word kaya sole, what that means? Kaya sole, that's the nose. Okay, ganidata. What's ganidata? Ganidata, that's his tail. Okay. Isitadisti. Isitadisti. What is that? Isitadisti. Inches. Okay? All right, next sentence says, Gani data uyela ha ale gana hi soneli ale sonela du isitadisti. Right? So what about this word here, uyela, huh? Uyela, huh? That means it's bare or it's naked, right? There's no hair on it. Okay? It can also be used to refer to human beings that are naked, right? So it's anything that's uncovered, right? Naked. Ganida de uyela, huh? His tail is naked. Ale. Gana hisa. And the length, soneli ale sonela do 9 to 19 isitatisti inches. The next one says, do one katla ale jutalenerd gohusti yikakwenan ganidata. Okay, do one katla. Branches, ale, chutalenad, gohusti, various other things. Yikakwenan is wrapped, ganidata, by the tail. So the tail can wrap around branches and other things. Ganake uskola junal suit ale usti. Danililko. So it ganake uskola junal suit. It's gray colored, ale, and usti danililko. It has small ears. You can see his little ears right there. Okay. Hikskohi iga danin to ko aleka nege dinik tole. So it has 50 teeth and black eyes. Okay. Sikwa ujetsti marsupials dano sehon. They're called, possums are called marsupials. Anid gano dani no dohon. they carry around their young, okay, in a pouch. Gano dai, in a pouch. Okay, June ployi, go wala yona, ale utlawat ujesti. So the possum is similar to koala yon, to the koala bear, ale utlawat, the kangaroo, utlawat. Okay, ujesti una sa marsupials ane amayetli juhudla. So the possums alone are the only marsupials to live in North America. Ujetsti inage I aneho ale sanoi a inu go. So possums live in the woods and come out at night. Okay. Delkai Danili donhon ale seskino gadon un sku unilanti unedosti. Okay, so they climb trees. Ale seskino gadon un sku unilanti unedosti. So they also like to go around on the ground. Uskanole geson, okay? Uskanole geson. They are habitually slow. They're not going to win any kind of race, right? All right, so that kind of brings us up to speed on where we are in the paragraph. So we will continue on and we'll see what else we can learn about possums. Okay? Oh, this is going to be a good one. So it says, unilakti, they like, unigisti, to eat, kanukatli, blackberries, kuwa, mulberries, unasugi, wild grapes, okay, like possum grapes. Some of you may already know the word unitelelati, for grapes, but unasug are wild grapes. So some people just use unitelelati for wild grapes as well. But just be aware that there are some people that use this unasug to mean the wild grapes that we use for like grape dumplings and those kinds of things that ripen in the fall. Sunkta, apples. Tskoya judalain, okay, different kinds of bugs. Tskoya judalain. So we learned that word judalain means various kinds, right? Junsti gisqua, little birds. Juwage, eggs. Walos, frogs. Tiohatl, lizards. Ale, gistan, okay, and crawdads. Hopefully, you know that word gistan by now because we did a story in one of the earlier Cherokee classes about gistan and jutli, right? Jutli the fox and gistan, right, the crawdad. So we have lots and lots of different nouns that we can learn. Some of them you may know, some of them you don't know. I know for myself, Whenever I hear the word kanugatli, I know it's some kind of berry, but I have a hard time remembering that it's a blackberry. The same with kuwa, mulberries, okay? They're kuwayon, mulberry place, right? Kuwayon, which some people use that for Klingman's Dome, which is one of our sacred mountains back in Cherokee. That was a place where our medicine people would go to get visions. They say that that's where the bears would go. So so that's the word for mulberry. So we have kanugatli, kuwayo, okay, or kuwa. Then we have unasug, the wild grapes. We have sunkta, that's an apple, sunkta. Tskoya is a bug, not a specific kind of bug, but just any kind of bug, tskoya. Judalain, different kinds of bugs. We have junstichi, small birds, right? Juage, eggs. Walos, okay? Frogs. Tiohat, lizards. Ale, chistan, and crawdads. So if we have enough time, we're going to come back to this, and I will quiz you on the different kinds, because these are fairly easy to learn, right? All right, let's go on. And this says ujechti, unilakti, uyojhi, gitli, unigisti, ale, uli hoja ganatla, ju kol, danigishko. Okay, so I had to read my way through it. So ujetsti, okay? Ujetsti, possum. Unilukti, maybe you know that word by now. Unilukti, they like it, okay? Uyojhi, you see this word uyon, right? Uyon. We learned that means bad, rotten, spoiled, not good anymore. Uyojhi, that's trash. Okay, that's one of the word. That's the word for trash. Uyojhi. Okay. Gitli. Oh, I misspelled it. I misspelled that word. So I'm not able to fix it on here, but you can see here the way I have it written. What does that say? It says giji, right? That's not it. It should be gitli. Okay. When I get back to my other computer, I'll fix it. Okay. Gitli, unigisti. Gitli unigist means dog food, right? Ale. And here's something we need to talk about, okay? Uli huozi means dead, okay? Ganatla. Now you'll see I have another word in parentheses, and it's because in different communities or different families, they call it different things, and we'll talk about it. So this word, or both of these words, both mean animals, okay? So ganatla, to some people, to some speakers, that means just animals in general. They can be wild animals, they can be domesticated animals. The word literally means ganatla, and that means something that's owned, right? So to some speakers, ganatla, that just means animals that have been domesticated. Okay, so and then they use ehnai to mean animals that are wild. Ehnai means they're wild. Okay, so that's why I put that in parentheses. So for some speakers, they use ganatla. Some speakers will use ehnai. Okay, so be aware of that some speakers differentiate between wild animals and domesticated animals. Other speakers do not. Other speakers just call them all ganatla. Okay? Ju coal. So ju coal means bones. Okay? Ju coal are bones. I think we talked about coal before. We talked about that word, a bone, coal, and how it's related to the word kola, the word for winter, right? Kola, okay? Kola means bony, right? Kola is bone. Chu coal is bones, plural, okay? Dani giskon, that means they're eating them, okay? So possums eat trash, dog food, and the bones of dead animals. And whenever I was putting this paragraph together, it's interesting because it's believed that possums need the calcium, and that's why they eat bones. They'll eat the bones because they need the calcium to make their bodies work correctly. So I thought that was pretty interesting about them, that they're kind of calcium deficient, and so they eat dead animal bones in order to supplement their diet. Okay? Now, this one says, do ni ja li di gu gi da ni gi ska. Okay? So this word is a new word for me. The other two are not, but this first word, do ni jalti, I believe is the correct duni. There should be another word, another duni no jalti. There we go. That makes more sense. Duni no jalti. That means they're famous. They're well known. Duni no jalti. Okay? Gooky. Gook. Gook. This is gook right here. Or some people call him gooky. Okay? Gook, that's a tick. All right? Danigi, skunk, they eat them. They eat them. Okay? So, duni no jalti, gook, danigi, skunk. Okay? So they're well known, or they're famous, gook, danigi, for eating ticks. So you'll notice here, and I don't know if you guys have this same problem, but I have a really bad problem with da and gu. And I don't know if I'm slightly dyslexic or what, but almost every time when I see a gu, I will transpose it and I'll flip it the other way, and I'll want to pronounce it da, like da. But there is a difference. One goes this way, and the other one goes the opposite way. Gu is like the letter J, and da goes the other way around. Okay? So this is gu gi. Okay? So, as I told you, I thought that it might be fun to quiz you a little bit on some of these different things that ujechti will eat. Okay, so to begin with, I will give you the Cherokee, and we'll put the picture up, and you'll see if you can remember what what picture it's referring to. Okay, so we'll begin. How about if we do kuwa, kuwa? Okay, so which one is kuwa? I'll give you a few seconds to figure that out. Kuwa, kuwa. Okay, kuwa is this picture here. This is the mulberry, okay? This is the mulberry here. So the next one, what about unasug? Unasug. So which one would be unasug? Unasug. This one here, very good. Wild grapes. What about chuwage? Chuwage. 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 This one here. Eggs. What about kanugatli? Kanugatli. 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 Right here. Blackberries. Good job. Kanugatli. What about G-stun? G-stun. G-stun. All right, G-stun is a crawdad. What about tskoya? Tskoya. Tskoya. Sometimes you'll hear people say tskoi. Tskoi. Okay, tskoya. Bugs. Okay. What about sancta? Sancta. 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 Apples. Very good. What about tiohatl? Tiohatl. Or tiohatli. Tiohatli. Lizard. Good. Walos. 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 Okay, that's a frog. And what about G-squat? G-squat. G-squat. And of course that has to be birds. Okay, what about these three here? What about Gitl unigisti? Gitl unigisti. Gitl unigisti. Okay, dog food. Okay. Uyotahi. 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 Trash. What about to coal? To coal. To coal, of course, are bones. And then this, of course, is gook, gook, gook. Okay, let's try it the other way. So, if I give you the English, see if you can give me the Cherokee. Okay, let's start with frog. Okay, frog. So frog. Okay, if you can't remember it right away, try to look through here and remember where it is in the story. Which one? And it's this one here. Walosi. Walosi. Walosi is a frog. How about a crawdad? What is the Cherokee word for crawdad? Kadohyat crawdad. Kadohyat crawdad. Jalakant. Kadohyat crawdad jalakikante. Okay. Ahanda, geez, done, no. Geez, done, crawdad. Katoshat eggs, jalakant. Katoshat eggs, jalakant. Okay. For those of you that don't know, katoshat means how do you say? And then, of course, I say the word, and jalakanti, using Cherokee. So, katoshat, sometimes you'll also hear people say, katohadisko. Same thing. Sometimes you'll even hear people say, kato andisko, or kato andi. Okay? It all means the same thing. It's how does one say, okay? So, katohyat eggs, jalakant. Katohyat eggs, jalakant. Eggs. Chewage. Katohyat blackberries, jalakant. Katohyat blackberries, jalakant. Katohyat blackberries. Blackberries. Kanukatli. Katohyat bugs. Katohyat bugs, jalakant. Katohyat bugs, jalakant. Katohyat bugs. Ahan. Tskoya. Katohyat bird. Katohyat bird, jalakant. Katohyat bird, jalakant. Bird. Ahan. G-squat. Katohyat dog food, jalakant. Katohyat dog food. Katohyat dog food. Git unikist. Katohyat bones. Katohyat bones, jalakant. Katohyat bones. Chu coal. Katohyat tick. Katohyat tick, jalakant. Katohyat tick, jalakant. Gook or gooky. Gooky. Okay? All right. So that is going to be all the time that we have for today. And I hope that you've gotten some new words for different things. Start using them in your everyday conversations. And I hope that you enjoyed learning a little bit more about the possum. And whenever we come back, we'll learn even more, all right? So from all of us here at RSU TV, I just want to say wadon and dondago ha'i.